All right, look at that, perfect timing.
Couldn't be better.
Hello.
You didn't cheers us.
Gather around. I know we haven't yet. We're just getting everybody seated. What's happening, Sean?
What's happening? How you doing?
We always try to say we're going to be
Sean?
ready to roll at 8:30,
Miguel,
but it never ends up being 8:30. So I apologize. I know Shane is very prompt. He was already on the call at 8:30, so we're going to jump right into our first guest, call-in guest. But cheers us before we do that.
Cheers, everybody.
Yeah,
We all just filed in here, came in from next door. We got Miguel, Mother Evan Sevasin, who is going to be fighting for the vacant lightweight title in just a few short weeks at Cage Titans.
I don't know if I am.
We got Sean.
Sean the Turtle.
Sean the Turtle, as he's known. I don't even think I know your actual last name.
It's Carr.
Carr? Sean Carr.
You can call me the Turtle.
Sean the Turtle. That's what I knew you as. And then Justin Simmons.
Here I am.
Play-by-play commentary member, and as always, the boss man, Mike Bolbert. And then we've got Shane Dillehay on the line right now.
Let's
So
pull
as the
him in.
boss man said,
Boom,
bring him
there he
right
is.
on in. He's the challenger to the welterweight strap held by Jack Congdon, a teammate of yours. And you're coming off of a flawless victory, not in the MMA circuit at Cage Titans, but in a grappling super fight, which was a fantastic armbar, by the way. But you're also 2-1 as an MMA fighter, and now you're challenging the undefeated Jack Congdon for the belt. So welcome to Table Titans, and how are you feeling leading into this title fight?
Absolutely feel phenomenal. I tell you what, the food looks phenomenal on that table. You know, no joke. You know, we usually, hey, no problem. So it's feeling good. The weight's coming down. You know, we're cutting a total of 32 pounds, so it's working out fine. We're about halfway there. You know, I'm just excited to be able to showcase what I can do.
Cutting that much over the course of, a few weeks, but that's a significant amount of weight. My goodness.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Is that just knowing, like, obviously Jack is a pretty big welterweight. Surprisingly, I guess he doesn't cut that much weight, but he is, towering figure. Does that have to do with, did you bulk up for this fight, or?
Not necessarily. I usually walk around at about 202, from the get-go. Just because I like to eat food, man. That's the big part, I mean, I can't help myself sometimes, I eat a lot. I train a lot, too. So that's the hard part. It's just trying to keep enough calories in to keep me healthy and keep me going. So I usually start cutting that about 8 weeks out. We knew we were probably going to get it around there. We were hoping at least. So we began the weight cut right around 8 weeks out. About 4 weeks out, we get around to about halfway out from there. So, we're feeling good. We're feeling confident. I feel healthy. But I could use some cheeseburgers as well.
Hey, no, I'm lucky right now. I'm actually like as light as I've ever been. I don't bulk up. I fought at 170. No longer. Now that you guys are cutting 30 pounds, no.
Miguel's crying about not being able to eat right now.
Yeah.
I know. I feel so bad. Like, this is terrible.
I don't, dude.
Ah!
Wow. I mean, I would have met in the middle.
What an ass. But yeah, what's good? How did this opportunity come up? You're 2-1 as an amateur right now, and you're fighting at a Triforce, a tremendous gym. What's going to feel like to bring that belt back to Rhode Island?
It's honestly going to feel phenomenal. I mean, it's something I've been looking forward to for a long time. I just started this fight game a year ago from February. So, I'm just excited to be able to get in there and try to do it. I actually had no experience prior. I've been doing jiu-jitsu for just over a year now. So it's just been a course of something that I've been trying to pursue. It's always been my dream. It's, to have a career doing such a thing. Unfortunately I started a little bit late, but under certain circumstances, I felt like it was a great time to begin, so it's going to feel good. It's going to feel good to represent the team. It's going to feel good to, showcase what those guys really put on the table and how much time they dedicate to not only me, but to the rest of everyone in the gym, So at the end of the day, I'll be excited. of course.
So, Shane, I don't know if you guys talked about it. Sorry, I had to go get a cord from my charger. So,
No,
being an athlete is not something that, is new to you. You were a cheerleader in college?
I was, yeah. I started cheerleading when I was about 15 years old. I ended up getting adopted when I was 16 years old. And just so happened that I ended up cheerleading because I thought a girl was cute. And then it kind of led on to my cheerleading coaches adopting me. And then they both they both cheered at IU, Indiana University. And I didn't plan on cheering in college. I really planned on wrestling because I had wrestled my senior year and I really enjoyed it. So I committed to wrestle at a Division III NAIA. And then found my heart at a bigger school. And so I ended up going to where my adopted parents went and pursuing my cheerleading career. And I ended up doing it for 5 years. So not including the time I did before college even came a part of it.
Did you get the girl?
I did. My fiance was my partner. I actually proposed to her at Reality Fighting in January on my last fight, my last MMA fight.
Wait, so the reason you started cheerleading is now your fiance?
No.
Oh.
So the girl that I thought was cute, it was so funny how it worked out, man. I thought this girl was cute. I was figuring I was going to be able to hang out with some girls, and I ended up falling in complete love with the sport beyond that and gymnastics. And then I just started pursuing it. I just loved the ability to be able to do a flip whenever I wanted is really what pushed it. And then it went on to becoming, an international championship, from that to going to the Division I level and doing it there. And, it just opened up a great amount of doors and people that, I never met before, of course, and I never would have been able to see the world, especially coming from where I came from. I came from a real low class income. My dad passed away and my mom was an addicted drug addict. So it was a good thing to be able to push forward and, get into a better place. And if it wasn't for cheerleading, I wouldn't be nearly the person I am today, let alone see what I've seen. So I'm just grateful that I was ever able to do it. But yes, I ended up the cheer partner that I had in college. She did it after persistence because she kept saying no.
So, hey, man,
Don't give up on your dreams, right?
It's
She
super
did,
cool.
man.
That's why we have this show.
Every day.
What?
It was. I said it did. It took like a year of me asking her. She just kept saying no. I think she got tired of saying no, and then ultimately felt bad for me. But it worked out.
Dude, I know that I'm pretty good friends with Brandon Avila, who you grappled. I played matchmaker a little bit with Richie to set that up, and he told me after the match, I've never seen someone who's like that physically strong. Like I couldn't move him. Anything I tried to do, I couldn't budge him, which speaks to your athleticism, but I imagine that actually probably comes from years of cheerleading.
It absolutely does, man. Not only does it create those muscles that you don't really get to use in the gym, when you're lifting weights, you're pumping, you're doing chest press, you're doing squats. Those help, don't get me wrong, but then you develop muscles that you really never thought you had, and it just makes you physically strong. And so I do have to contest to it that it definitely helps with the strength, but overall it helps with body awareness too. Being able to know where your body's at all times. It's a great connection to have. You got to be on top of your toes because you can get hurt very quickly. And I tell you what, man, he's a great kid. I ended up messaging him after and having a great conversation with him. And I was so thankful to even be a part of that, man, because he was a great dude. We messaged back and forth actually pretty often between me and him.
Nice.
Yeah, that was a hell of a grappling super fight as far as I'm concerned. Do you think
Isn't that the one you reffed?
It is. It actually is.
Yes.
Actually was. But so yeah, I actually got a tremendous view of it. And I actually watched like the entire thing as closely as I've ever watched the competition. But yeah, it was actually tremendous, flawless grappling. You were in control throughout the entirety of it, from your entry on your takedown. Is that what is going to incorporate into your game plan into this title fight? And how did the experience of going into a grappling super fight, how do you think that's going to play out when you now go into a title fight in the MMA ring?
Well, I definitely can say that it made me feel more comfortable. I was really pushing to fight for Cage Titans in the near future. So the fact that I was able to get out there, whether it was an MMA fight or not, I know there's a few that fell through, but I was just happy to get on the mat and do it. So I was grateful for that. Now, when it comes to the game plan, I can't obviously give you guys too much. I got to keep that for the days. But
Just so you know, Jack's teammate is right here too.
Yeah, definitely don't talk about it.
So I
I
can't
already
definitely
know
keep
I-
it to yourself.
Tell him as much as
I
you
had my eyes on him. I knew him as soon as he walked in.
Okay, all right,
So,
all right, good.
It will definitely play a game plan for sure. It will be some of it, absolutely. Man, he's a tough kid. You know, he's a good kid between switching stances from southpaw to orthodox. He's a really, I mean, to me, he seems like kind of the type of dude that's going to play a karate game. He's really long. He has a great reach, and he comes forward. You know, that's the thing. He comes straight forward. You know, so I'm excited to see what kind of power he has because he looks like he does have some power. You know. I do feel like there's holes in this game. That is a fact. But I think it's going to be a great fight regardless. I really do. I do think it's going to be a great fight. I think it's going to be one for the books. You know, I'm glad that we're going to be kind of opening up the card. I know we got a lot of pros on there. We got a few pro titles on there too. And so I think it's going to be one fight that's really going to get the crowd intrigued and keep them locked in. And then from there on, we're going to have the rest of the night a great night.
Well, Shane, one thing's for sure, you gained a fan in my mother who said cheerleading is awesome. I was one for 4 years in high school. So she's going to text me momentarily and say, I like this kid. When does he fight? That's my mom.
Tell her to tune in, man. Tell her to come check the show out. You know, I'm excited to always see it, you know.
Yeah.
I'm glad, you know. And Richie was telling me that the show's pretty much sold out, which is absolutely awesome. A sold out house. I can't believe, you know, that I'm going to be competing in front of a crowd like that, you know.
Yeah.
That's sick to be alone.
Shane, Richie's been telling me about you for a while. I'm super stoked. You know, I was excited that last show, you know, we were able to at least get you in front of the Cage Titans crowd. I'm excited that this time we finally get you to fight. I'm super excited that we were able to have you on Table Titans tonight because I even said to Richie, I'm like, is he a talkative guy? Because, like, I didn't see much of you on social media. I didn't get a chance to talk to you last time. So he's like, no, he's outgoing. He's pretty cool. And this show is all about getting the background. So some of those things that you talked about, people are watching, like even Rob Pico, he's like, you sound like a great guy. He'll be cheering for Jack. But, like, we want this show to be about who the person is behind the fights. And you've done a tremendous job, you know, talking about your background and things of that.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Do you consider yourself like Rocky because Jack looks like Ivan Drago?
You know, that's so funny you actually said that. I am Italian, but it's so funny you say that because
he literally acts like Ivan Drago, like just stone cold face, looks like him, no personality whatsoever, just looks at you.
Andy refused to be on the show tonight.
Andy refused to be on the show tonight because he's too busy for us.
Oh, he's too busy. Yeah, I'd be working hard if I was him as well. So I can't blame him.
I love it. Yes.
Hey, that's a very Rocky thing to say.
All right.
But no. All jokes aside,
If you happen to win, I expect your post fight. If you get the mic to start with, "Hey, Adrian."
Yeah. So it's the joke that's been rolling around my work between both my jobs. So I work 2 jobs outside of this. Is because they were asking, like, what's this guy look like? And the first thing I said was like, well, he kind of looks like Ivan Drago. You know, he's like this tall guy. You know, he's pretty shredded up, you know. And every time I walk into work, that's what they say. You know, they're like, you're going to be screaming for Adrian, aren't you? And it's a going around joke that's going to be hilarious. But no, I mean.
Is your fiance's name Adrian?
No, her name's Molly. No, she was.
That would have been.
Yeah.
That would have been tough.
Actually, Molly, funny story. She won the contest last show.
She did, and
she never got the message.
yeah, exactly. She's bad about these things. So what she does, she's a a field reporter for NBC 10, and then she anchors as well.
Yep.
Fills in for anchors. So she's going till midnight every night, but that's why she's actually not home.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was at the card getting ready to compete, and she messages me, and she's like, "Hey, I got these tickets." And it was so funny that she said that because right after she said that, because we were coming in to compete, and I had a guy that drove me down. It was just me and him, and they were like, "Yeah, we're sold out." And I was like, "Oh no, man!" So thankfully, we got someone to pull through a ticket for him. But then after it was all said and done, she messaged me. She's like, "Yeah, I won these tickets." I'm like, "Molly, why couldn't you be here? Like, why couldn't you be here? You know?" But unfortunately, she was working that night, so I understood.
So since you've talked about your cheerleading backgrounds, I don't think I've ever said this publicly, but I want to let you know that I actually coached cheerleading for 1 year, probably about 20 years ago.
Awesome, man.
I'm pulling out, we said this show is all about the story behind the story. So a good friend of mine, Brandy, you'll actually work with her for medicals. She's been with Cage Science for a long time. We were about 19 years old, and she was a cheerleader growing up, and she was coaching high school cheerleading or something like that, junior high. And I used to always make fun of cheerleading. I'm like, it's not a sport. And we used to always joke. She's like, it's a sport. And we go back and forth, back and forth. So she's like, oh, you don't think it's a sport? Why don't you come to a practice one time and see what it's like if you really don't think it's a sport? And I'm like, whatever, we'll see. And she called my bluff. She went to the town and got a third coach approved and said, time to put up or shut up. You're going to be in charge of our stunts to protect the girls. And I got you a paid position. And I'm like 19 years old. It was like $100. But I was like, screw it. And I was a cheerleading coach for 1 year. So my claim to fame. I was a cheerleading coach.
It's such a big, small world, man. My cheerleading coach in college, his name's Tony Nash. He's the head coach of the all-girl team for the world team. And he's also like one of the most decorative cheerleading coaches of all time. He's won the most national championships, basically. Well, he actually was one of the guys that worked for him is an MMA fighter as well. And they worked side to side with each other. And I actually went to this guy's gym and trained with him. And it's actually Derek Brunson that's in the UFC.
Oh, shit.
So, yeah, he was a cheerleader. And he was a wrestler / cheerleader back in the day. And his employer was my cheerleading coach at Indiana University. Which is actually my adopted mom's best friend's now husband. So it's such a small world how it brings it all together.
Yeah, I did save a girl one time. It was stunt gone wrong, and I caught her by her ankle as she was about to hit the ground. And so I had a new respect for cheerleading. So that's my little connection to you. So I wanted to share it here. That you're not the only cheerleader at the table.
Damn.
That's awesome.
My mom's
man.
in the comments. She was a cheerleader too.
See, I love it. I never would have thought I would do it. I wouldn't have thought so. But like I said, I thought a girl was cute. Ended up never even talking to her really. And it led me to where it became today. I had a whole new family. I got put through school. I ended up being, the first to go to college, the first to get a degree. It was just a cool experience, man, all around. And it all started from just walking into a cheerleading gym.
So what was your degree? You mentioned you're first to get a degree out of your family. Congrats on that, by the way.
Thanks, man. I went to school for pre-law. I got a bachelor's in criminal justice and a minor in sociology is what I ended up doing. Okay.
And are you one of those guys that got your degree and did nothing with it, or are you actually in your field?
So I didn't do anything with it. I ended up I ran a mechanic shop in North Carolina for a couple years after Indiana. And then that's when I was like, you know what? It's always been a dream of mine to start fighting, and I started fighting. I started fighting out there, and then I went to Derek Brunson's gym. That was in North Carolina as well. Trained back and forth whenever I could. And then Molly got a job for NBC 10 here, and when I found that out, I told her I would be coming here to fight full-time. So I fight full-time train full-time, and then on top of that, I work for Smithfield Heating and Supply, and then I'm a stationary engineer as well at the Dunkin' Donuts Center and Convention Center here in Providence.
Nice. All right, so a man of many talents. Well, before we let you go, we appreciate you coming on. Any more questions, or does any sponsors or anybody you want to shout out? Obviously, your team over at Triforce and everything.
Absolutely. Of course, shout out Triforce and everything that's in there with all my coaches and my teammates. Of course, I'd like to shout out my sponsor. That's going to be Full Force Off-Road. It's a phenomenal custom Jeep shop out of Indiana. If you guys ever need some custom Jeep work, that's the guy to do it. And other than that, thank you guys for having me, man. It was a great time, and I look forward to seeing you guys in person in about 3 weeks.
Absolutely. Look forward to seeing you, too. Your hype man, Richie Santiago, the most interesting man in the world, he calls you. And he loves you, man. I got to tell you, because Richie and I have been talking for months. Obviously, Richie's been part of the family for a long time, and he helps me with matchmaking. He's been singing you praises. So,
he's a great dude, man. We went at it tonight. Me and Richie were going at it tonight.
I hope he kicked his ass.
Went at it with him on Saturday, so I know how that goes.
Oh, you went at it with him on Saturday?
Richie, yeah.
Dude, he's a dog, man. That is a dog fight there.
For
that
sure.
guy, it is what it is. But I appreciate it, guys. I really do, man. And I always appreciate my man, Richie. He always takes care of me.
All right, man. Well, have a good one, Shane. And we'll see you in a few short weeks. What, 2.5 weeks away?
Oh, it's that close.
Shane,
2.5.
check your Instagram DMs like after this show. Whenever we get off, I want to set up an interview with you to have you on Titan Talk.
Do a one-on-one.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
All right, cool. Well, have a great one. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Tell Jack I say good luck. Thanks, guys.
I'm not gonna tell Jack anything because he refused to come on tonight.
Man, that's awesome. So there you have it. You know, I've been sitting on this because I knew he was a cheerleader, and I was like, I wonder how he would be accepted. So I wanted to make sure, brought it up, and got a chance for him to kind of explain his background, his history. I'm just being a part of it before for that 1 year. That Andy reminded me 20 years ago I wasn't 19. Yes, 20 years ago I was 21. So 22 years ago. Thanks for pointing that out, Ted. So the athleticism, throwing around other bodies, it definitely has something that you could translate.
Yeah, it's like
That's
gymnastic level of athleticism there.
Peak
Peak athletic
athletic performance.
performance. So we do have obviously Miguel Sevasin here. We have Kyle. I can't wait to have him on because I know I've been butchering his name. Pufahl. I think they call it. I think on his Instagram it said Puffy. So we'll have to ask him. He's
Definitely not Puffle.
definitely not Puffle, probably. But he's undefeated prospect out of Nostos. Another guy that's Carolyn and Devin Powell have been talking to me about, trying to get down here for the last two events. I'm super excited to have him down here, challenging Miguel, who's here with us for this title. The 55 title is vacant right now, and I couldn't think of two better people to compete for it. A long history of lightweight champions within Cage Titans have held that belt. Going back to the very first, maybe the second person to hold it, was Rob Font, who's currently, top 5 in the UFC. Yep. Kyle Bochniak, who's fought in the UFC.
Shanus held the 55.
Don Shanus was a 55 champion.
Joe
Giannetti, who was made it all the way to the finals of the Ultimate Fighter. So there's a long history. I've said it over and over again. Cage Titans is about the best in New England fighting each other. I don't care if you're from Maine, New Hampshire, wherever you are, Vermont, out-of-staters or whatever. It's not about who sells the most tickets for title fights in Cage Titans. It's who's the best. And these two names were some of them. And there we are. So here we go. Let's bring in Kyle. It looks like it's raining where Kyle is. Are you there? Are you in the hot tub? Are you in a pool?
Yeah.
No way.
Oh, it's not raining. It's steaming. That's.
Hold on, you're really in a hot tub. He's showing off. He's balling.
I can't hear him right now either.
Can you talk so we can hear you?
He's too busy enjoying his hot tub.
Yeah, we're
You think
gonna
he's
hear the bubbles.
Yeah, I can hear me?
I can hear you now. Go
There we
ahead.
go.
Yeah.
That's a little better.
A little closer. What are we doing?
We're doing good. All right, so clear the air right before we start. How do you pronounce your last name?
Oh,
Pufahl.
yeah.
All right, cool.
Kyle
Kyle
Pufahl.
So you got to get. So Andy's the commentary lead, and he's our ring announcer. He's the most important.
Kyle
I'm just
Pufahl.
going to tell you right now, I butcher names all the time, so don't ever take any offense to it.
All the time.
All right. So what are you doing chilling in the hot tub? It's super hard to hear you. Are you doing a little recovery?
Yeah. You gotta treat the body, A little slow rest of the day. Just gotta dip your toe a little bit.
Yeah.
Get relaxed.
Are you solo in there? Who's with you? Nice. So we've been talking about bringing you in for this title fight for a little while now. We finally get that opportunity. Tell the Cage Titans fans what they can expect from you, and what do you plan on bringing June 4th?
Also, don't go.
And tell Miguel he's sitting here with us.
Yes, this is one of the occasions we actually have both competitors speaking to each other. So, yeah, welcome and answer the question, please.
There we go.
Well, what I want to show is I mix my the cage, anything. I want to show just a wide variety of skills that I should have shown in the beginning, and yeah, I just want to go out there and just show my skills. I mean, I sacrifice out of work, so it's just time to have those skills show for himself, I guess.
So it's super hard to hear, but it's picking up a little bit. So I can hear him. Let me see if I can hear him.
He's not talking.
Oh, he's not talking. That's why I can't hear him. I'm like, is he talking? What's he doing?
I think
You
we
hear
can
me
find out
now?
where he is.
All right, there we go. So
good.
just like Aaron, just like Aaron, I know that you're living above the gym. What was that transition of like to like kind of dedicate yourself to the level of moving above your gym so you can train?
Transition?
What was that?
Is it, you asked how's the transition?
Yes.
The move up to live up the gym. Jeez, can't even talk right now. So to live upstairs from the gym, it just to make my life easier. Honestly, I was living like 3 miles up the road, and it was kind of hassle just getting back from work, like carrying my dog back into. So it was just honestly easier. And I'm at the gym more, like literally. Like when I'm not at the gym, I'm at the gym. So it just makes my life easier, and it just makes me train more. And it's been awesome, actually. It's been an amazing transition, and it's because of doing that transition. It's I believe it's up to my how do I want to put this? By being there, it's up my game a little bit. Obviously, just by being there and training more.
Nice.
Yeah, it's like the move right above the gym. It's like
So it's you and Aaron Lacey, teammates.
Yes, sir.
So all right, I got to ask then, who's more of a slob, you or Aaron?
I'm gonna say me, honestly.
At least you admit it.
At least you admit it. Respect.
I mean, like, I don't have any dresses and shit, so my shit's kind of just, like, everywhere, and, like, I'm, like, running around. I get home from work, and it's, like, 5, and I just run to class, and then I get home from class, it's, like, 10 o'clock, so I'll come right out and say it. It's me.
All right. What do you do for work? You mentioned coming out of work.
I'm a stonemason.
Oh, cool. Cool.
that's a dedication, moving above the gym. That's like a
How long you been above the gym for?
About a year, roughly about a year, like
Oh,
eight.
shit. Okay. So 3-0, it was very tough to hear you when you answered this question, so I want to give you opportunity now that we can hear you a little better. Your first time down to Cage Titans, what can the Cage Titans fans expect from you? Oh,
I'm sorry.
hey, what's up?
Sorry, I lost you. Can you say that again?
I said we couldn't really hear you the first time you answered this question, but what can the Cage Titans fans expect from you your first trip down here to Cage Titans? What kind of fighter? What can they expect?
Well, since I've transitioned up the gym, I've trained more, talking about everything. What I want to show the fans is what I've been developing over the months and training and stuff like that. I want to show, as a whole mixed martial artist, that I'm good everywhere and I'm dangerous everywhere, and I'm just not a guy to play around with. I just want to go in there and show that I can finish fights and this and that. Like, I just want to just go in there and show that I'm a bad motherfucker. That's it.
You definitely proved that so far in your career. 3-0, all finishes. You finished a guy in the first round. Your debut was a 5-second knockout. Then you finished a guy in the third round, so you showed you have the gas tank. So somebody thinking they can bring you into deep waters, you've shown you can perform there. And then your last fight, you knocked the guy out right in the first minute of the second round. So definitely proven that you're ready to go. In your opponent, Miguel, who's here with us now, just so we're clear, what do you see in your opponent that makes you look forward to this matchup with Miguel?
I see heart and I see grit, and I always see there's going to be a good tank there. So I know he's just always going to bring the pressure and bring the fight. So it's what I'm looking for. Again, I say that I want to prove to be a bad motherfucker, and I guess I got to prove it against another bad motherfucker that's always going to bring that pressure. So I can't wait.
Speaking of bad motherfuckers, as you like to say, your team went 3-0 this weekend up in Maine. How does that motivate you? I'm assuming you're the next up in line. So how does that motivate you going and finishing out these last 3 weeks of your fight camp, seeing your team going on a tear like that?
Oh, it makes me want to fight harder.
Absolutely.
That's the tank. It makes me just want.
So Miguel's here. We might as well get his thoughts. Miguel, obviously you hear what Kyle has to say. What is your thoughts on Kyle from what you've seen so far, and what are you looking forward to in this title fight?
Yeah, I mean, I've only watched the last fight, and that was a great fight. You sort of even with your eye was all like swollen, fucked up. You still came out and knocked that guy out. That was impressive. But yeah, it's just we're both two dogs, just ready to bang out. That's about it. It doesn't matter if it goes to the feet or on the ground. I'm pretty well rounded. You look pretty well rounded. Sound well rounded. I'm ready to go. So.
Yeah. What do you got?
I got nothing, man.
Did you play a part in your teammates' camp against Moa Kanani?
Yeah. Oh, what? I mean, yeah.
You don't have to tell what part you played.
We kind of have the same build, and Mo's got a good right hand, and so don't I. So we kind of just played around that.
I gotta say, Ross fought for us against Trevor Goody in his debut. Unbelievable, crazy fight. Probably a lot of people count Ross out going into that fight. Obviously, Mo was the heavy favorite, but anybody who's seen Ross fight, or like yourself, who's been in the gym with him, that that wasn't the case, and he was able to go in there and perform. Great performance.
You know that Mo's going to be able to bounce back. He's got that champion mentality. He took a tough fight early in his career. But, seriously, the momentum your team has, and especially with guys like you moving above the gym, moving in with pro fighters. That's like an alcoholic moving above the bar to not That's that level of dedication.
Mike, am I allowed to move above here?
No. Yeah. What'd you say, Kyle?
It's like an addiction. Yeah, like you said, it's like an alcoholic moving above a bar.
Yeah, it's like I've known people who've done that. It's like get a DUI. I say, I moved above the bar, so I don't got to drive.
Shout out to your teammate Nate Grimard. He's in the comments, and he said, "Let's go, Kyle." He was another winner this past weekend, and he improved to 3-0 as a pro now, correct?
Right.
Yeah. So
2-0.
2-0. Sorry. So how is it to be a part of this gym? And Miguel's in a very similar situation. I mean, Nostos is around for a while. It was old Bill Jones' gym. But, you're kind of like a flourishing school as of recent. You guys had one or two fighters here and there, but it's just like now you guys are constantly pumping out killers. So how does that feel?
It feels great. We just work on each other's energy. We all keep each other humble. One guy's having a good week, another, the same guy's having a bad week, and then we just bounce back from that. We just work off each other's energy. It's awesome. But Devin sets a high expectation for us, and we try to follow it.
No, it's great having great leadership.
Speaks to Devin.
Devin and Carolyn, and they're that's great leaders in that gym. And it's starting to show in their performances. It's like you don't go a card now without seeing a Nostos fighter on there. And every time you see that, you guys are really establishing yourselves as when you see that name of that gym, you're like, okay, you can expect a killer out of it. And similar to Lakeville, Lakeville 4 or 5 years ago, I don't think you guys had a fighter. And they had Justin Stevens kind of break through. And then now here you are with two guys fighting for titles on the same card. So it's great to see this sport grow and see some of these gyms. Back in the day, it was Lozon's and Sigyatong and South Shore Sport Fighting. Some of the big names, and now you're seeing all these new gyms exploding onto the scene. So I'm really happy to have Nostos down here in the fold, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on June 4th.
If Brody McDougal is anything to expect, geez, that boy brought it, So clearly that school is.
Yeah.
And the cool thing I saw in a lot of the stories Nostos MMA posted was there was a ton of Nostos fighters there to support the guys in Maine. And can we expect the same, Kyle, at Cage Titans? A lot of the guys coming down to support you?
Oh, yeah. All the boys would be there.
Nice. Well, I don't want to take up too much of your hot tub time. So any last things you want to shout out? Anybody you want to give sponsors or your teammates? Anybody you want to give a shout out before we let you run?
Yeah, shout out to Lead City Medicals, shout out to Premium Wood Care, and shout out to Hagen Pool used car dealership.
All right.
Shout out to those guys.
All right. Well, Kyle, thank you for taking some time out from your hot tub. This is a first. I don't think we ever had anybody hot tubbing in. So first goes out to you. Any nickname? Do you have a nickname?
No, not at all.
Okay, no nickname. So we'll have to develop one. We're going to have to develop one.
The Instagram's like poof to God or something, right?
Poof to God. Is that your Instagram?
Yeah, it is.
All right,
Well,
cool.
I'm a turtle, so you could always just grab another animal. They're all
Yeah.
open.
As long as you don't take the turtle, because
Yeah,
that's
no,
it.
turtle's
Don't
taken.
take the
Turtle's
turtle.
taken.
Sean
All
the
right.
snapping turtle.
It's on my back.
All right, we'll think of
Kyle
something.
the stonemason Pufahl.
Got a ring. I like it. We'll work
Stone
it.
hands.
Stone hands?
Stone hands.
We'll work on one.
Stone
cool.
hands. He's
That
got all
makes sense.
knockouts, well, 2 knockouts.
That makes sense. You got a mean right hand, dude.
I like stone hands.
You're going against Miguel Mother effing Sevasin.
It was- what is it?
We'll see if hands can beat.
That one rings. I like that one.
I like stone hands. All right, man. Well, get back to your recovery, and we will see you in a few short weeks. Thank you so much.
Cool, man. Have a good night. Thank you.
You too. And tell Devin and Carolyn I said hello.
All right, well.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Hey, take care.
See you,
Kyle
brother.
Pufahl.
All right, cool, man.
Seriously.
It was a
I'm
little,
talking
it was a
excited.
little
He's
tough
a
at
little
the
shaky at
beginning,
first. I
but then
couldn't
we
hear shit.
rebounded.
Yeah.
We
Once
figured
he
it
got
out.
Once he
So,
hopped
Miguel,
out
what
of
do
the
you
hot
think?
tub, I think Carolyn might have
Seems like a pretty good
corrected
fight.
the audio there for him.
Carolyn's like the den mom.
Yeah.
She's awesome. You know, every time I talk to her and Devin, I mean, they
Yeah.
both are, but you know, I can tell she's like the den mother. She
Yep.
she wrangles all these guys in because no offense to all these fighters, they're pains in the asses. So,
Especially in camp.
Can't
when
get
it
friends
cuts
with
weight,
you,
yeah,
man.
you know, like I get this, I get that. She's always right there for me. Her and Devin, actually. You know, so.
Big ol' shout out.
Also,
to
shout out
everyone
to-
else.
I don't know if it's public,
I
so
think
I
it's
apologize. So
public.
Aaron Lacey was injured this past week, and I believe he had surgery this morning. So I hope for a speedy recovery. I don't want to give too many details just in case it's not out there. I don't know if it is. You said it is out there?
No, I thought you were going to bring up Connor. Man.
Oh, yeah, no.
My bad.
But yeah, so shout out to Aaron Lacey. We wish him a speedy recovery.
Totally disagree.
So I hope he's all right, and I can't wait
Yes.
that he gets recovered and maybe back towards the fall, get him back into the mix. But anyways, Miguel, you heard from the man himself. You know, we didn't get a chance to talk to you too much. What are you thinking about this fight?
No, I think it's gonna be a great fight. You know, he's undefeated. That's pretty cool. It's my first guy. No. I faced another kid who's 1-0, but
Oh no, it's technically undefeated.
okay. But I mean,
I'm just saying. I mean,
You're not wrong.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a good
He's not
fight.
wrong, but he's not
It seems
right.
like he likes to strike. I like to strike. If he goes to the ground, I'm very much comfortable going to the ground now. So
Yeah.
wherever it goes, it's just
You
I
definitely,
don't-
showed, you definitely showed that in your last fight.
yeah. My
Seriously,
takedown
man, that
defense was looking really sharp.
Well, it
too.
got better as the fight went on because you got slammed and recovered.
All right,
pretty
all right,
hard
all right,
there,
yeah.
really.
Well, Chandler Donati is like a
State
high-level
champ, yeah,
state champ wrestler.
He
Yeah,
recovered.
you know, but I like that was one of the.
I mean, but he
first
did
times-
get slammed. Am I right?
That was,
Yeah, but I did.
I'm saying that was one of the first times I hadn't commentated, so I was just sitting on the stage and like I'm watching the high-paced fight, and then all of a sudden, whoa! And I'm
Oh,
like
yeah.
pacing the stage. I was doing that all night, just pacing the stage back and forth.
He got slammed. I got a little nervous. I was like, oh no.
It was crazy because like when he had his hands close together and he was like lifting me up, I knew right then and there. I was like, oh yeah,
Going for a ride.
I've had
We're
this
going for
before.
a ride.
Yeah.
Moment in the
Yeah.
movie was
I grabbed the
moment
fence
you knew
by
he was-
accident. You know, it's just an instant reaction.
You
Yeah.
recovered tremendously, and then
Yeah.
you flowed into your grappling, and were able
Oh,
to set
yeah.
up a beautiful triangle and got the finish. It was a tremendous fight that just showed the growth that you've taken, and now climbing 2-2-1,
Right.
5
And-
fights under the belt, and it's like a performance like that you can't deny a title
And
shot.
not
against an
only-
undefeated.
Not only that
player.
triangle, even in the fight before, fought a purple belt to a draw, was not able to submit
yeah.
him. So we knew even after that, you know, it goes to the ground and it's no joke.
I just took his back too.
Took his back
Mhm.
and almost had him in a
You
anaconda.
also tried to darce him.
No,
So,
yeah.
Miguel.
That was tight.
Miguel, you've been talking for a long time now to me specifically, saying you felt you were one of the best guys in New England. You've called for, you know, Chris O'Brien. You've called for you want the hardest fights you get because you've said to me, I feel I'm the best. Now you get that opportunity on June 4th.
Yeah, no, I'm excited.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
been training really hard for this one, just like all my fights. But you know, this one is just another guy in the way, and that's also another what I'm thinking about. You know? I don't really care about his 3-0 and none of that crap. You know, they've all been tough fights. You know what I mean? My first fight was a kid who was 1-0.
Yeah.
You know, my second fight was a kid from South Shore Sports Fighting, and everybody knows what South Shore Sports Fighting brings.
Yeah.
My third fight is
your
against a
second
kid, Tim Birkenhead.
Oh yeah. Decision, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And then my third fight was against an undefeated striker in the Muay Thai ranks. You know,
Mhm.
so all my fights had somebody that's really good at something. You know what I mean? Now I got somebody who's good with everything.
Yep.
So it's just gonna be like a guy who's just what I'm doing now. Like I face Connor Matthews, I spar them all the time. It's like, you know, and I hang with them, so I don't see.
Yeah, you hang out with Connor,
Can you
Matt?
confirm
Connor.
Miguel Sevasin hangs with you?
Connor,
We need
We see
confidence.
you-
We gotta tell them.
We see you in the comments.
Also, big congrats while you're on this topic. I mean, big congrats to Connor Matthews.
Oh,
I heard that
absolutely.
He's getting onto
Yep.
the contender
And
series.
Billy
Well,
did.
it's really
Let's
off.
go.
And
So big shout out
They both
to
deserve it.
two Cage Titans,
Yeah, man.
legends in their own right. I mean,
And it's like we've been holding on to that too, like
I
with
know.
Joan, but it's like
Yeah.
and they're on the same card too.
no kidding.
That's
Are
really
they?
cool. Yeah.
Oh,
I
shit.
can speak to this for Miguel. That is has impressed me as like a friend and I don't know, training partner of sorts. And I feel like your advisor at sometimes you're
All right, get to the
a little
point.
meathead.
Yeah.
Get to the point.
He knows how to work on the things that he needs work on. He's a grinder. You know what I mean? He recognized that like, all right, wrestling and jiu-jitsu are like my weak spot right now. Talking 3 fights ago, and he, sought out help for those things, grinded on those things, and then it showed in his last fight against a state champion wrestler who did slam him one time and took him down one other time. Had a hard time doing it,
Absolutely.
and paid a hell of a price to get those takedowns. I mean, his nose it looked broken. It was gushing blood. Like Miguel did all the right things he was supposed to do. Chandler Donati's just a savage and still got that
Killer.
first takedown.
Well, yeah, that's
He's a
like-
killer.
Yeah, that
Well, those are
wasn't
wrestlers.
that wasn't a knock. What I said, like
But
you
it
said,
wasn't-
he's a
it wasn't
Division I
easy.
State
You know what I
wrestler,
mean?
just like
Where I feel
But you
early on
still-
in his career, that fight's going to the ground the second Chandler Donati wants it to. And
So
Yeah.
let me ask you, what it's been like in the gym. You're cross training other gyms. What was it like for you 4 years ago? There's no fighters coming out of Lakeville. I think Justin Stevens was the first one.
Xavier Cardona.
Xavier. I think did Justin fight before Xavier?
I think they
Yeah.
were
So
like the
Justin
first
was
two.
like the first one. Where were you at your journey then? Like, were you training then? Like,
I wasn't training.
you weren't even training back then. So what brought you to the gym? Number one, what brought you to Lakeville, and what has motivated you to continue this path?
Well, Logan Carrier is what brought me to the gym, but when, the whole passing with Devin and stuff, and Logan stopped going to the gym, and, I just reached out to him, and we've been friends since like the third grade, second grade.
You and Logan.
Yeah, and I just reached out to him, and I know that was their thing.
Yeah.
I was just like, I know it's not the same, but I'll go to the gym with you. And he's like, oh, I really appreciate that. And then we went to Lozon's. I got my ass kicked by like everyone. And then I just like got hooked, and then we were going forever like together. And then finally, like one day, he kind of like stopped going ish, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I kept going, and then finally I just kind of like let go of it. And then like 6 months later, I was like, you know what? I really did like it. So I'll just go somewhere else, like closer, and Lakeville was the closest place. And I was there, and I was hooked, So, and then I did a couple of Nagas. I kept winning in the Nagas. I was doing really well. And then, I was like, can I fight? And then he was like, oh, well, if you win, and I do like some things. And then finally I did those things, and I fought. So.
Yeah, nice. Definitely, definitely. I didn't know that part of the story about Logan, so it's definitely it's nice to see you do that for somebody that was so important to the Cage Titans community. Being friends with Logan, I never knew that. I know you walked out with him and things like that, but
Oh yeah, I've known him forever.
that's pretty cool.
And he fought for the title too, for the 55 title.
Yes, he fought Don Shanis.
Yeah, I'm gonna win this
I
one for
remember
them. So.
And actually, I believe that his fan Don Shanis
I like
gave
that.
Don Shanis gave his belt to the family that he beat him with. But anywho, that's just that. I don't know.
Wow.
That's it's a cool story. Obviously Logan will be there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't got much right this
I'll
second.
help you, boss.
Yeah, there you go.
What Can you speak to? So your last fight was the last time Joe Lozon, the first time Joe Lozon was in your corner.
Mhm.
Can you speak to? Was there any difference in between rounds or preparing for the fight, like with him in your corner, or was it kind of just business as usual? Did he make a difference at all?
Oh yeah, for sure. He talks to me so calmly. I mean, everyone does, but sometimes my corners can get a little rowdy. Just saying, like, jump. But he's just so calm and he's like so sharp and he's make sure you really understand what you have to do and get it done.
Well, he's had so much experience in the cage. I'm
Yeah.
sure he's
One of those,
just another day at the office for him.
forgotten more than most people know.
So you're training for this camp with Jack, seeing him get that belt. How does that motivate you, and how do you tie into each other's fight camps? Though I gotta give you a shit because Tyler Pimento was in the comments said you didn't show up to jiu-jitsu.
Oh,
Yeah.
uh-oh.
Because I asked him to be here. It's your fault.
Oh,
But-
it's all Mike's fault.
I mean, Jack and I are like glued to each other when it comes to training camps. Like he's the 70-pounder and I'm the 55-pounder. We're pretty close, and he's a little bit bigger than me, so it like helps me out with that. And if I fight someone taller than me, I can grind out and fight somebody that height, or who can use his reach well, or is good everywhere. He's like so technical. So,
Yeah.
But one thing that it kind of lights the fire up my ass because he's so serious. He's so like, this is it, man. Like, yeah.
Proven by him not even wanting to come on the
Yeah,
show.
exactly.
He was like, "No, I must eat, must sleep."
Yeah.
Must bread.
Broccoli steak. That's it.
You gotta sit there and face not only your opponent via
Oh, yeah.
his opponent and
He's
Our
and
coach-
represent, but
Our coach one time was looking at Jack's diet because Jack was having a little bit of trouble cutting weight. And Jack brings him his diet, and he's like, I don't know, don't eat the apple. Like, Jack ate so clean, he didn't know what to get rid of in the diet. He's like, how are you not cutting weight? You eat so clean.
when you're getting rid of an apple,
Yeah.
Well, you also got to realize
Have you seen him?
Jack is like
He's shredded.
there's nothing to like.
No.
really,
Yeah.
like
Nobody.
there's no wasted energy.
Literally
Like,
chiseled from marble.
We went to
Yeah.
Florida and like we're on the beach just chilling, and I had a pizza and he had a pizza as well. And
Whoa, Jackie ate a pizza?
I know,
Oh,
believe it or not,
It was a
yeah.
cauliflower.
But we were at the beach. I like blew up like a whale, and this kid, the light just hit him. He looked like a Greek god. Like it just shit him. I was like, "Hey, what the hell?"
Definitely not. Well, I'm going on vacation.
Yeah.
So speaking of, you blew up. You were a former fat kid, right?
Oh yeah, I was very fat.
Yeah. What was your highest?
Ooh, probably about 230.
Nice.
Yeah.
I never
Was
got
it-
that
got
high,
you
but I
beat.
was also a
got
former
you all
fat kid.
beat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it through MMA that you lost the weight, or you guys both of you actually?
I would say senior year. Maybe-
Started noticing the girls.
Yeah,
Ah.
a little bit. I was tired of being that friend.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Should have
They
joined the
still think you're a
cheerleading
friend.
squad like
I-
Shane,
shit.
right?
Hey, I messed up, man.
Yeah.
All the girls from my school in the cheerleading squad. I'm not sure if they're watching, but there really are no trophies.
If they are, they're like toilet paper burning.
Yeah,
They're so
They're like, what an
mad.
asshole that kid
I
is.
don't-
There's a blonde chick in
next-
Minnesota somewhere that is pissed.
Yeah, they're listening right now buying no-stove shirts.
So Sean the Turtle, I see you tagged and stuff. Who are you? Where did you come from?
I
And
can
you-
express
Who's that
myself.
guy?
And then they got Connor Matthews talking about you in the comments. Is this something I'm missing out on? Is like the turtle like the thing?
I mean,
You're always the
Well,
one that's
check the
encouraging
sweatshirt.
amateur fighters to come
Check
on.
the sweatshirt.
Well, I did recently, February 4th, I believe, won
You
the.
whip some ass.
I whipped some ass
You
in the
did.
Golden Gloves tournament.
Nice.
Usually it is a tournament. You have to fight a few times, but there ended up being one guy in my weight class,
So
Because everybody else saw Sean and forfeited.
apparently.
So you only fought one guy.
So I fought one guy right for the
But you
title,
won.
and I was the champ. And I won. I gave him 4 standing 8 counts. And he
Oh,
thought it was
shit.
a close fight. It really was not a close fight.
Did he give you any standing eights? Any
I had
knockouts?
no standing 8s. I even went back to the corner to my coach and said, "Man, I hope they didn't rob me of the decision." And he looked at me like I had 3 heads. He's like, "You're not getting robbed of the decision." I
Nice.
thought they were gonna stop it, but
So you train at Lakeville as well?
So I train at KO Gym in New Bedford.
Okay.
I started there.
Down in No Beige.
I did, yeah. I specifically boxed for about a year, maybe
Yep.
a little over a year, and then started hanging out with Miguel, started hanging out with Jack, started hanging out with Connor. All of a sudden, I started kickboxing. Next thing you know, I'm rolling and doing jiu-jitsu, and who knows? I think the next fight will be boxing. Maybe it turns to kickboxing. Maybe eventually MMA. One day maybe I'll be in the Cage Titans octagon.
I was gonna say. I mean, we do some Muay Thai fights.
Yeah.
But, throw you in there.
He
The
shows
Turk.
up on Saturdays.
I know, man.
He's around, dude.
That's where I met you. Was just showing up on Saturdays.
That's where I met
You working
Andy. That's
everybody, yeah.
where I met Justin. That's where I met. Well, I met Connor at KO through Mike, but also I
Yeah.
met Connor through Lozon's as well. But
Yeah.
next fight will probably be boxing. But right now I'm just having fun with it.
Yeah.
Just keeping it rolling. Trying.
Was
not
that
to
your first
get
time
too-
competing?
It was.
So
Well,
first
it was
time
my first
competing
time. It was my first time in a sanctioned fight. I had 3 smokers.
Yeah.
Which at Stay Ready in Fall River.
Don't tell anybody because those are illegal.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're not supposed to.
I didn't have.
He had 3 really hard sparring
Yeah,
matches
exactly.
that were at a different gym that wasn't his own.
Yes.
Yeah. But no, yeah, it was fun. I got in there and probably could have done better in those 3, but those 3 helped me get to where I was for that
Now you're a
Golden
Golden
fight.
Glove champion.
And he
So are you
hasn't
going to
taken
go
it
to
off
the what?
He hasn't taken that sweatshirt off since.
He
hasn't washed it.
I
Literally
can
showered.
smell it.
He
I can
showered.
smell. So,
Still got blood on.
so
Yeah.
do you go to the next division, or are you just kind of cool with that?
I think the one I did was a non-advancing tournament. I don't remember why. It could also be because I was sub-novice, which is 0 to 3 fights.
Yep.
But normally, yeah, you would advance and go to Lowell, but it was just that one. And we'll see what's next. I think the Rocky Marciano is in August-ish.
Cool.
Whatever's next, whatever my coach thinks I'm ready for. And we'll just keep going. Right now, I'm just having fun out of camp training, doing a little bit more strength and conditioning, especially conditioning. Last fight, I felt like I got a little bit gas in the 3rd round. But I've been working with somebody at KO. His name's Kabira. He does a lot of strength and conditioning. He's been helping me tremendously.
Nice.
This guy killing me sparring.
What weight class?
It was 139.
All right, there you go.
All
All
right.
right,
Wiggle room, man. It's like
139.
Future 35er.
Maybe.
I mean, in boxing, you walk in at your weight, right?
Yeah, well, I got weighed in the same day, so I couldn't cut too much water
Ask him
weight.
what he's at right now.
I mean, it looks kind of a little 50.
66, but it's
Oh,
okay. It's
shit.
muscle.
He don't even look 66.
He does.
As a former
No.
vacant, I'm as light as I've ever been. I'm like 67
I
right
used to
now.
be
I only got you by a
198.
pound.
198.
Shit.
I used to be 198, and then
Damn.
my girlfriend actually got me into to weightlifting a little bit.
Yep.
And
She was a weightlifter?
Dude, she's a savage.
Yeah.
She is
She's-
so fucking strong. It's disgusting.
So your
She
girlfriend's
is
a power
crazy.
lifter.
She is.
I was like, how did you grow? She had to be, because I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, imagine sitting on the couch with your girlfriend and just be like, yeah, I think you should start lifting weights every
Hey,
day.
hey,
Thanks, honey.
put it this way, when Miguel met her, he said, "You better never stop boxing because she'll beat your ass, dude. She's like a competitive power lifter, and she is so freaking strong. It's
All right. So she said start lifting, and that was it.
I started working out with her, and I was like, I'm getting a little chubby. I want to lose a little bit of weight. Started working out with her. Got down to like 85-ish.
Yeah.
I stared remembering back when I was 13, I did a free boxing program for a little while at KO Gym.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I want to box again.
Yeah.
So I got, I had a car, I had my own job. I'm like, what? Screw it. I'm going to go back. I'm going to start boxing. Met Miguel, met my coach, and it's been history for the past 2 years-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
tell you
about
what, he
it.
has
Nice.
KO Gym, Mike from KO Gym.
That's
does,
Mike.
does a good job.
Mike Avila.
Yeah,
He
I
was-
never knew he's always with you guys in Lakeville,
Yeah.
but I thought he coached at Lakeville. I didn't know he was.
But you may not know this. He worked with Connor when Connor was young.
No, I-
he was one of Connor's Marty's first.
Yep.
I know.
He's-
He
Miguel,
still
Jack.
corners
He's
Marty
still-
to this day.
and he's-
Miguel, Jack.
He's still working with Connor and Marty all the
Yeah,
time.
corner's Connor too.
Man, he's always at Lozon's too.
Yep. Definitely.
just watching, making sure his guys are doing well.
Cam Arnold gave you a shout out. He said that you guys are gonna probably have the potential Amy fight of the year. So Cam Arnold's watching. Cam Arnold will be fighting that night as well. But yeah, so besides yourself, what fight are you looking forward to the most on this card?
Well, Jack's a given. And
Yeah,
then,
I guess besides yourself.
I'm trying to think of the. Oh, John Payne.
John Payne,
yeah,
yeah.
I've never
Oh,
seen
yeah,
that guy
John
fight,
Payne.
so
Yeah.
that was really cool.
Yeah.
He's always been telling me, he goes, I'm getting on that card, Miguel.
He
I
was
like,
supposed
"All
to fight
Last
Yeah.
what was it, the last card?
Yes.
Yeah, because he was in. I saw him at Lowe's on Saturday. He was sparring. I'm like, oh, you're getting ready for a fight. I thought that was so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
he's
saw him.
hungry.
I saw him this
Dude,
Saturday.
he's been the one in the cage the last couple of Saturdays. People have been giving him work. Dan Walsh and
Yes.
Yeah.
a couple guys from Mass BJJ's. been
So
giving him
yeah,
work.
so he's fighting Jonathan Tucker. This is a fight that was supposed to happen last show. The commission wanted to take a little closer look at it, so they declined the fight originally, pending further. So John and I we went to the athletic commission meeting last Wednesday and got the final blessing and sign off from the athletic commission. So that is official. no more hangups. And it was big. It was, and it's funny. So the commission says, as we're trying to make the case for him as a 59-year-old man, they're like, well, what's the history of people over 50 fighting in MMA? And I'm like, I've had a 48-year-old, 49-year-old. I had a 45-year-old. And then John's like, me. And he raised his hand. He goes, my last fight, I was over 50. His last fight was 7 years ago for us at Cage Titans.
Wow.
Something crazy like that. And I'm like, oh, yeah, he was still over 50 when he fought for us 7 years
He's
ago.
still not at retirement age,
Dude,
so
he's,
it's like.
he's in the shape.
Yeah.
And he
trains.
throws
Hey,
down.
Throws
He's
down.
strong.
Yeah.
And he loves to do it.
Well, that was the
I'm
big
not a
thing with the
commissioner, but
athletic
there's
commission.
no reason to deny it.
He got his
This
medical
is
clearance.
America. You're free to do what you want.
Well, the medical clearance thing was like, well, he went out to Dr. Warner, who was the head of the medical advisory
That's what I'm
board,
saying.
and he's like, listen, he's in better shape than some of the younger fighters.
He's doing the work himself. He's
Yeah.
getting it. So why not let him be a
So
free
then
American
they were like, well, like his opponent's 33 years younger than him. Like, and I said, would you rather me match him with another guy that's 60? Because he would probably fuck some dude. 60.
Yeah. Some
Like,
random 6-year-old off the street.
Yeah, put it this way.
Normal
He
60
fights harder fights, not harder
In the
fights.
gym.
He fights really hard fights every day at his job. He's a firefighter in Salem.
Yeah.
Let him get in that cage and have fun against Jonah Tucker,
It's
no
gonna be a
matter
fun
the
fight.
outcome.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely a fun fight.
Can't
so
wait.
there you go.
That's
And
a
we,
good
I
job,
think we
Rory.
dropped the poster today.
Yeah.
Yesterday. Yeah.
That's when I saw it. I was like, oh, yes.
I'm looking forward to the party in Disneyland.
I'm looking forward.
That's like that has
Well,
a
it's like
star
the main
next to his
event.
name
It's
on my
always
list.
like, come on.
Shout out to Lionel, Rocky. Lionel is making his return. I think
Damn.
we announced
They
him
announced
versus
the fight.
Bruno. It got pushed back to our July 2nd card. So I believe that
Fight is
will be the co-main event
What a
for the
fight that
July
is.
2nd. That's going to be a banger.
What
So
a fight.
shout out to Lionel in the comments, still supporting. Hope his son and everybody that he's dealing with at home, everything's well. That was why I had to get pushed back. He had some stuff going on. But him versus Bruno is going to be a fun fight. Party versus Disney.
Party versus Snell, dude.
Great
Just having
fight.
those guys on a couple weeks ago and just letting them talk a little bit of
man.
shit to each other made me excited for the press conference. Now,
Yes.
like we have good press conferences.
Yes.
Then we have great press conferences. You know what I mean? Like there's a clear difference in this one. I feel like without even showing up, obviously it hasn't happened yet. Great. Because like I was on edge when the party was fighting Lionel.
Yeah.
Nothing. It was fun.
It was pretty
It
cool.
was good. They talked a little shit. I think this one may even be worse because like the party and Lionel kind of had the history. They knew each other, respected each other before the fight, and then they just knew they were fighting each other. Chris Disnell's like, fuck you, dude.
Yeah.
And we know the party.
So the party is very like brash, in your face, shit talk. He didn't really talk shit to Gilbride.
Right.
And Gilbride's just kind of he's too
He's
nice.
in the way.
with
He
him.
did like a little slap thing.
Did he slap Gilbride?
Pissed him off. I think he tried to slap him or
kinda-
pushed his
yeah,
face. Or he did something at the weigh-in.
But
finish.
either way,
definitely did.
Gilbride's kind of. I think he was yelling at him, go back to engineering and stuff. And Gilbride just kind of smirked and smiled. And then when he fought Richie engaged a little bit,
He
but
took his
Richie
hat.
was in. Yeah, he took his hat. He smacked him. But Richie wasn't super brash and abrasive. And then I was really nervous with Bruno because I was like, oh, fuck, Bruno's kind of a straight shooter. But he got away with that whole friggin'. Then he and that was a little interesting, but they hugged it out. Lionel was cool. I think they both knew they were both a little crazy. So, like, when you're fighting crazy with crazy, you're like, ah. We
How
might, like,
crazy do I want to get?
he might stab me and I might stab him. So, like, fuck it. Like,
you
we
don't
can't,
know what you're
you
gonna get.
can't go without. With Disnell, I kind of have that same thing. It's like Disnell
For
did
some
not
reason, a
back
little worse
down.
than me, yeah.
Yeah, it was like he didn't back down, and if anything, he was kind of the aggressor. Usually, the party's the aggressor in those exchanges, and he seemed pretty aggressive. So it's going to be intriguing to see somebody push onto because all the other exchanges we talk about party, it's always the party the pusher,
Yep.
and this guy's kind of pushes. And
Sean
I
Lowry's
kinda-
Lowry's gonna be another fight.
I kind of feel like the party, like, I don't want to say wasn't ready for that press conference, but I think he maybe underestimated Chris Disnell's talent on a mic.
You mean episode?
Yeah, episode. I think he kind of in the party's not gonna let that fly. You know what I mean? He's gonna go back and find something that's gonna get under your skin and bring up because he was just like, I've seen you fights, you're boring. I know what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
Typical party stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But Chris Disnell kind of gave it back to him, like you said, and he was pushing a little harder. And I feel like Joe's not gonna let that.
You know, we talk about the fight card. We could probably sit on here for another 20 minutes talking about it. I mean, you mentioned the party. You mentioned Lally. You got Arthur Pofu going up for his second belt, taking on Marcel Romero.
Valdina against his teammate.
Valdina versus Tyler Stevens, Siegfried Stevens, 8-4, stud out of the gym down in Alabama. We saw what Alabama did when they came up last time. It's like you got Sheamus on the card.
The card stacked.
Fighting a guy from France. This is the first time we've ever brought a guy in from Europe. Is
there a chance this is one of, if not the best cards in Cage Titan's history?
I'd never say that.
We say that often a lot. This is
And then there ends up being
but looking at it now, I've seen.
I hate that type of marketing and advertise, like, because when people go, "Oh, this is the best card," and it's like, then
when
your
you say
next card,
every
you go,
time, it's corny.
"Oh, this is the best card." It's like, okay, cool. Everyone's the best card.
You have all a lot of the Cage Titan staples on this card.
It's pretty heavy.
Fighting tough
Yeah.
fights.
It's a great card.
Well, I mean,
Pretty heavy.
you
Great
got to also
card,
remember,
dude.
like, you got this card that we're talking about, and then
July 2nd.
July 2nd, you got Giannetti on that card. You got Kylie on that card. You got Joe Poirier getting a title shot against Tyler Smythe. We had another title fight on that card.
135?
That's
I didn't know he was
125.
That's a hell of a fight.
Is he Russian pro or is he?
Yeah, I think he's I don't know what.
You're right. I mean, both cards are good.
Yeah, it's
But-
hard to say because there's a lot of guys that are on that aren't on.
Is there
June
Peter
4th.
Barrett still on this one too?
Yeah, Peter
Aaron
Barrett.
Lacy.
Well, we got to work on, obviously we mentioned him, but I hate to say this is the best card because every card you could say that.
I feel like it's corny when you say that every card.
Locino Bambino.
Yeah,
Bambino
That's
Locino.
a good fight.
Him
too.
and Tony Rivera.
Hey, even though he's 0-2.
Ninja style. They're both 0-2.
Oh,
They're
really?
dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
But they're both
They're
in
hungry.
some
That's a
dogs.
fight.
Yeah,
It's a
I would
fight.
say he's so entertaining to watch, man.
Yeah, that's going to be a great one.
That's a good fight.
The two fight of the night.
I don't even know. I mean, Brendan Battles is returning. He was a huge
Another
heavyweight
Oh
stud.
my God.
5.
Is that what you guys just posted on the Instagram?
I don't know.
We were driving up here, and I think I was driving and looking at the Instagram story, which isn't good. But I was like, "Who is this monstrosity of a human hitting a punch?"
So he was like 7 years ago. He came back onto the scene, but like he was fresh out of high school, where he was like multiple state champion wrestler, and just no one would fight him. And then he took some time off, and he's been away for 5 years. So it's like, okay, you kind of forgot about this guy. Like this guy. Speaking of, you must have forgot Trevor Goody, the Scarecrow,
Yep.
Justin Burrell. He's another guy that's fighting on the card. It's just there's so many
That's on his
good fights. Yeah, Trevor Goody and Justin
So
Burrell.
stack this card.
I'm okay with saying
Yeah, no, you can't say that.
this is one of the best cards I've
say
ever seen.
whatever.
Yeah, you can say whatever.
This is
I
one of
will
the best
never say.
cards I've ever seen.
Yes. So when you've been doing it for 12 years, 57.
How many title
shows,
fights?
There's 5.
You didn't have all those guys in the press conference?
Is that a record?
Yeah, 5 title fights. I think it might be a record. Yeah. I don't know what we're doing for the press conference. I mean, when we get too many,
3 or 4 fights.
usually we pick 3 or 4 fights because we did that one press conference when we did the day-night doubleheader, and it was like so many fighters.
Yeah,
it was
it was a
just
lot.
kind of like no one gets to talk, so it's kind of boring. And like the fighters were kind of just not engaged in it because it's like, if I have all 5 title fights, that's 10 fighters. Let's just say hypothetically, I won't have one side if the other side can't come because I just think that's. I've seen other companies do that, and I think it's disrespectful to both sides of the card. As a promotion, you're there to promote fights, and the fights not hometown fighters. So if I can't have both there, I don't have either. It's just one of like my kind of unspoken rules. If it's changed, like if somebody bails on their way there or the day of, I can't control that, but we will not. So anyways, long story short, too many fighters. It's just too much to be engaged in. You ask a question, you might get a question asked, and then 15 minutes later, you're still sitting there twiddling your thumb. So we'll figure out the press conference. Why, you want to be there?
I mean, if Kyle Pufahl goes, I'll go.
All right, cool. We'll see if we'll get Kyle there. He's a
As long as we have the
Yeah,
He's not allowed to
Kyle.
be in a hot tub at the press conference.
Yeah, you can't be in the hot tub. But obviously we'll have Disanella party. We'll more than likely have Don Sheamus and Bryce Pichot, as long as Bryce gets in town in time. But I'm probably going to have him fly in a few days early, just coming from France.
You said that's the first European fighter?
Yeah, first
At
European.
least like flown from.
Yeah, so definitely. We've had Bendy Casimir, who's from France, but he was living in Vegas. Yeah. So we'll probably definitely have those 2 fighters come in. Probably the amateur title fights. I know that Marcel drives in. Whatever. Anyways,
We'll figure it out.
Yeah,
We'll figure it
there's
out.
always
No more
something.
questions. No more questions.
No more
Go on to
questions.
Denzel Washington. No more questions.
No matter what, the press conference is going to be fun.
It's gonna be a banger.
So yeah, we even had Don Shanis trying for that title fight. And before we go, I want to give a quick shout out notice to Shane Manley. For those who have not seen, Shane Manley has fought for us at Cage Titans. He was scheduled for our title back in February, but most importantly, he's part of the MMA community. And this weekend, he was shot, breaking up a fight and preventing somebody from entering the bar that he works at with a gun. Who knows what would have happened if that guy got in and Shane Manley wasn't there. In the process, he got shot. He did have a surgery immediately that night. He had another follow-up surgery today. He's doing well from what I hear. I don't talk to him on the regular or anything like that, but from what's going around, it seems like he's doing okay. There is a GoFundMe. We have posted it today, so just sharing it to get the word out. Even if you can't donate, it's more about getting the word out. Super Manly is his nickname, and he really did it this weekend. And from the stories, it sounds like there was an altercation, and one guy tried to come into the bar. He works security at a hospital and a bar, and the guy with the gun tried to come into the bar, and he stopped him outside, but was shot in the process. So
shot. Bullet couldn't stop him. He stopped the perpetrator. So wishing nothing but a speedy recovery for him. And,
yeah,
absolutely.
The MMA community always comes in droves of support.
I believe they've already raised thousands of dollars.
Yeah, so
I think there was like $32,000.
Yeah, last time I checked, he was in the 20s or something.
Wow. Yeah,
people are awesome. That's crazy.
Yeah, and there's
Rightfully
even so many people in the comments that were like at the bar that night, like even mentioning like, listen, I don't know what would have happened to me. There was like parents like, oh, my kids were in the bar, like thank you, like
true heroic.
Was that in New York?
Absolutely.
New York, Syracuse. Yep. So yeah, just sharing to get the word out.
Hero, man.
Yeah, man, it's insane. So, shout out to Shane Manley, and we wish you all the best. And if you're a fan of this sport, you're a fan of Cage Titans, or you don't have to be a fan of either. This was a true heroic story.
You just have to be a human to hear that.
Yeah. So, we wish you the best, and man. So that's it for me today.
Yeah, I got nothing. We're only a couple weeks away from Cage Titans 53 to stack lineup.
There's more. This Thursday night, this man right here is hosting his first ever comedy night at Coop's Bar and Grill this Thursday, 8:00 start time here at Coop's. Action-packed night of comedy, hosted by yours truly. He was just getting his chops up. He just had a set next door.
Yeah.
He's ready to roll. What can we expect on Thursday?
You can expect some comedic legends, man. If you it's not even me. I ain't the funniest guy. I'm hosting the damn thing. But if you know that I love fighting, I've always loved fighting. I was into comedy many years ago, way before I got into commentary with this. But since I'm back on the scene, if you trust me, if you think that I've got a passion for fighting, I'm promoting comedy with the same intensity as I promote fights. John Parada is one of the funniest headliners you're going to see. Northeast, he's helped a ton of headliners really get started from like the names of Bill Burr and just so many others.
Got to have lunch with you guys. So
yeah,
listen to him talk. I was like, wow.
He knows shit, and he's one of the funniest guys you're going to see take a mic. So it's like, it's not even me. I like supporting martial artists and fighters and comedians. Are another similar group of degenerates who like pain and suffering as much as we do. So it's a different art form. So I'm promoting that as well. And can't thank you enough for having this venue. It was the first hosted one, and it's going to be a great time. So thank you very much.
Awesome.
And if you're a part of the MMA community, we're going to cross into your comedy. Some of our Cage Titans fans are going to be there. I know Rob Pico's already on.
I got a couple of.
What is it? The Green Zombie? Is that Chris Matino?
Yeah, Matino's going to be coming.
What is he?
through.
The Green Zombie?
Green Zombie. I'm not sure what is. He's many names. He's
Zombie.
always no quit to me. No quit.
No quit.
Matino. That's always what he's been. But he'll be showing up, and then a bunch of other Cage Titans fans. And,
I'll be here.
Yeah,
Justin Simmons.
will be
Mike
here,
Denell
and a
coming?
couple of, I don't know, maybe. I don't know.
All
We'll see.
right,
We'll see. There's plenty. There's gonna be more.
Yeah.
There's gonna be more.
So make sure if you guys
Listen,
are
I don't
into
take
it.
personal.
Who's coming in front of
I
you?
don't ever
Like,
take it personal that someone can't show up.
We got to make sure the Celtics playing that night.
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah.
May
Versus the
17th.
Heat? Yeah. I'm not
No,
sure.
tomorrow night.
All right.
May 17th. So
Keep it-
you're
yeah.
good. You're good. It starts tomorrow. Yeah.
As far as Titan Talk goes, just finished my EMT course today.
What
So
about the Bruins? Are they
we'll be
in
cranking
the
out interviews all the next 8
Bruins
days
are
or so.
done.
Yeah.
So
Start
Titan
meeting
Talk. Make sure we get that. When we accept that stop back up?
Like tomorrow, if someone wants to interview tomorrow. I finished my EMT
When's
course
your
today.
first? When's your first
My
interview?
first
line?
schedule is with Miguel on Thursday.
All right. So this is open for all fighters.
Sean Lally
Um,
Friday.
You know, anybody, amateur, first time. Lionel Bugs wants on that comedy show.
Hey, come on.
He wants on that comedy show.
Hey,
Does that mean
hey.
he wants to be on the
So
mic?
come on down next time you're on Table Tennis. We'll do the open mic next door. No doubt, Bugs. I'll get you a spot.
Bugs would have some
I
quick
definitely
service.
want to watch that.
Yeah.
There's no
Uh,
doubt about it, Books.
I'm trying to convince Andy to stream it, but it's the first time he's doing a show, so he said no.
I don't know
But-
about like what's going to translate to streaming. Just buy a ticket. There's going to be
There you go.
more.
Buy a
It's
ticket,
like,
we'll get
yeah,
more.
it's like, yeah.
But Titan Talk, any of the fighters that are on our June 4th card that want to get part of it, be sure to hit up Justin Simmons.
Check your DMs, dude. There's so many unanswered right now. Probably in your spam folder. at this
Don't leave
point.
him on red.
You know what I mean? Definitely don't leave me on red. But like Kylie O'Hearn, like messaged me 3 weeks later, like, "Oh my god, I just saw this. I'm so sorry." Check your
She just thought you were some creepy guy.
right, and I wasn't. You know, wow, I wasn't. Check your primary, check your general. I'm in there somewhere. I'm trying to set these things up. I'm trying to get fans to know you. Trying to have a little fun. Ask a question that's gonna fuck you up.
And when these two are done giving their last minute plugs, I got one more thing for you. I'm going to give you the main event for July 2nd. All right? Because I'm feeling generous today. So, anyways,
plug away, dude. Who do you want to thank?
you
I
already
just want
know
to
it.
thank Bristol County Club, Chad Faria. He's my strength conditioning coach.
I just want you to know, it's Bristol County Barbell Club. You always say Bristol County Club. I also go there. It's Bristol County Barbell Club.
Oh, yeah.
BCBC.
Yeah,
You don't even know
Actually,
the
I think
gym.
I'm wearing the
You don't even know the
name.
gym you go to.
Just Chad, I got your back, brother.
right.
Bristol County Barbell Club. Go on.
Whoops.
All right.
Anyways, Lozon MMA, BTT, Lakeville MMA, KO Gym, Kabira, all those guys. Sean, that's why he's here. You know, he's one of my favorites to beat up. So
We've had some wars, sparring, getting ready for fights.
Connor
You guys
Matthews.
both been wars.
Yeah,
He's
Miguel has
been
a war
hosting
song.
Tuesday night classes for the MMA fighters. Like all the killers are there. Carlos Lozoya's. It's just a great training.
Great room.
Yeah. So Control MMA Ground, Wareham. Check that out.
You got the turtle.
Turtle. Instagram, Sean the Turtle 22 _ in between. Like he said, shout out KO Gym, shout out Lozon MMA, shout out the Controller MMA Proving Grounds at Seaside CrossFit in Wareham. Connor's been helping me out a lot, especially with jiu-jitsu and things like that. He's a great guy. But yeah, that's about it.
I think when I think of you, I think it's a turtle song. My kids.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm not gonna.
God.
I'll
Is this going to be my walkout song?
It
Mandatory?
could be. I'm not going to play it. I won't make anybody listen, but it's like,
I
it's
think
like
I'm
a turtle.
early enough for the Turtle Club.
If I fight in the cage, he's going to mandatory. This is
Yeah,
your walkout song.
I might have to go up to Adam.
He has a
There it
turtle
is.
tattoo.
Actually, I will play it.
Jesus.
If you would like to see the tattoo, I'll show you.
Oh, here we go. My kids listen to this song. As you know, I have 5 kids.
Should I be scared?
I can see you walking out to that.
Okay.
Not bad, right?
It's a vibe, dude.
I just think my opponent would. I don't know what he would think.
Your nickname's the Turtle. What do you already think he's gonna do?
I don't know.
What the
I
fuck,
don't
man?
know.
You just like make up a weird song or some aquatic
Yeah,
animal
yeah,
every
yeah.
3 years, baby shark.
Oh, you gotta have the music video and you watch out too.
It's not a music video. It's a cartoon doing
It
this.
helps you hug a turtle.
Yeah,
I'm
go
trying
ahead.
to-
Tell
I'm
the kid
trying
to pick up a
Hey.
snapping turtle and give it a hug. That's a
You gotta
brilliant
listen to
idea.
the lyrics.
You're missing a lyrical genius right now.
If you want to hug me, I'm a turtle.
Yeah, it's gonna be like fucking toddlers getting.
It's only 49 seconds, so you got to make it a quick walkout.
Yeah,
Quick one, yeah.
I think I lost.
I
the
can't
whole- I lost the whole crowd that was watching up.
Good.
They
Now you're
started-
gonna drop the July 2nd main event. Nobody's
July
gonna see it.
2nd,
Sorry, it's my fault.
it is your fault. Skeletor Joe Giannetti will be defending his lightweight title against Nasty Nate Williams. For those who, obviously everybody's familiar with JoJo in the Cage Titans world. Those who may have forgot about Nasty Nate Williams, he was the headliner for our first fight back from COVID back in July, where he fought Don Shanis and defeated Don Shanis. That fight was supposed to be for the 45-pound title. Unfortunately, Nate, because he took it on short notice, he missed weight, so the title wasn't on the line. But that was a title fight that he earned a long time ago, and he's back to cash that chip in, and he's going up to 55 and taking on Skeletor, Joe Giannetti.
I'm still getting over how my life's never going to be the same after hearing that Turtle song. But yes, that fight is insane for a main event on an in-between card that we were planning on having. But no, that main event is just so stacked that it's actually going to be Cage Titans 54. Am I right? It's going to be
54. That's going to be a numbered event. I gotta shout out to Lionel, another one talking about our kids.
He said we don't talk about Bruno.
You guys know this song?
Oh, I can sing every word.
Another one.
This is right there.
This is from Encanto.
You know what I'm saying? Come on, Andy.
I don't know what.
We don't talk about Bruno. He's fighting Bruno. That makes sense.
Here we go. You never heard this?
No.
Let's go, Lionel.
It's about Bruno. We don't talk about Bruno. Anyways, so it should be a walkout sign, Biggs.
I don't know how the Purge walkout would go with this.
The Purge would not. He needs to keep that. See?
Yeah, I haven't seen this.
You
Nope.
haven't seen Encanto?
Nope. Can't
Sorry.
say I have.
Somebody else in the comments at least get our jokes now.
I mean,
guess
I get
not.
it. I'm with you.
You
on
got
this
it.
one.
You got me there.
The Turtle song.
I do not.
You never heard that?
No,
No? You never seen Encanto?
that's not where the turtle came from.
No.
Not the song.
All right. Well, there you have it. Joe Giannetti defending his lightweight
Where'd he
title,
go?
taking on
I've heard
Skeletor. Nasty Nate Williams.
That fight's going to be insane.
It's going to be a banger. We got 3 other title fights on that card too.
Jeez.
So we got
July
5 on this
2nd,
show.
There's
July
9
2nd's got
title
4
fights in
a month span.
month.
Yeah. And that will mark our full year back from COVID. It'll be our 9th event in 12 months. And that's it,
Holy
man.
shit, that's like almost double.
What a better way to
Always
spend
doing
4th of July weekend than in Plymouth.
And 4th of July
Absolutely,
weekend,
it's gonna
absolutely.
be-
So
the whole week is going to be insane. I'm taking that whole week off.
taking the whole week off.
Taking the whole week off.
I get July 4th week off mandatory from work, so
What do you do for
I'll-
work?
I weld.
Nice.
Nice.
But,
All right.
Sean the
Well,
welding
there you
turtle.
have it.
Weld the
You
turtle.
should weld the turtle.
We missed you.
Maybe I'll have to weld the turtle.
You could.
All
Could
right.
be done.
Well-
Miguel, Mother effing Sevasin.
He's back.
Thank you very much for coming through. Sean, the Turtle
you for
Car.
having me.
Thank you for coming on. Justin Simmons, as always.
Yeah, I drove them. I'm pretty much a big deal.
All right. There you go.
Thank you as always, and thank you everybody for tuning in. Table
Cheers.
Titans, I don't know, 5-6 years strong. It's all for y'all. It's all for y'all. We'll be back next week. We've got 3 events this summer, so we're get used to us. It's going to be every Monday for a while.
It's actually been in my, you know how you guys have like those, this
Memories?
date memories?
Oh yeah.
Where is that? Here it
Was
is.
it
Memories.
12-year anniversary?
It was our Cage Titans the other day. It was our 6-year anniversary of when we started Cage Titans. It was like May 4th, 2016, something like that.
No
That was the
shit.
first episode right over there. So,
Really?
Yeah. It was
Wow.
the first episode. Yep. 6 years.
May 4th, 26? No, that's impossible because that wasn't even
2017.
coming. There we go. May 4th,
5-year
2017.
anniversary,
Yeah,
I'm
there we go. That's
5-year anniversary of Table Titans was
5
last
years.
week. So,
Jesus.
there you go.
And that was on YouTube. Or was that
It was
the
on
first
YouTube.
one?
We used to
Time
film it, and it was so long you couldn't
Yep.
release it as one video.
We
So
would literally
we
go
had
for
to
like
release-
3 hours.
we had to release it as 3 separate videos. It was part 3 that I watched.
I used to drink like 2 full pitchers of beer myself.
No one cares about that. Peace out.